Welcome to the University of San Francisco's Computer Science Graduate Programs Information Session. My name is John Bruno. I am the Graduate Program Manager for the Department of Computer Science. I work with both current and prospective students through the admission process as well as an academic advisor here at the University of San Francisco. And today I'm going to be talking about two graduate programs in the Department of Computer Science, our MS in Computer Science, as well as our MS in Computer Science Bridge program. The MS in Computer Science is designed for students who do have a formal background in computer science, whereas the MS in Computer Science Bridge program is designed for students who are non-majors and looking to transition into computer science professionally. Today's session will give an overview of both the two-year MSCS curriculum as well as the Bridge curriculum. I'll talk a little bit about faculty research and opportunities to engage with them, talk a little bit about alumni and placement in industry, as well as different opportunities our students have to build their network and throughout the program. And then I'll end with a little bit of information about our admission process. I first want to start talking about a little bit about the structure of our programs here in the Department of Computer Science. So both of our programs, both the MS in Computer Science as well as the MS Computer Science Bridge program, are rigorous programs that provide students with a solid foundation in software engineering. Each program allows students to create a specialization through tailored electives, as well as internship opportunities, as well as directed research with faculty. One of the things that is a huge benefit of being here in the Bay Area of San Francisco, California, is that our faculty have the opportunity to work with their partners in industry and use best practices from what is being used right now at tech companies and to be able to employ those in the classes with our students. Many of our classes are project-based, so not only do you understand the fundamentals of how to engineer software, but you'll also be able to apply that knowledge in practical projects throughout the program. Something we're really proud of and we think differentiates us actually from quite a few computer science graduate programs in the United States, but especially here in the Bay Area, is the fact that our program is small. We admit approximately 25 students into the Bridge program as well as into the MSCS program each year. So all classes on average are between 25 and 30 students maximum. And so that means that you get a lot of individualized attention from our faculty, so opportunities for code review. It also means that our faculty are able to integrate the latest academic research as well as industry best practices into the classroom experience. There's also a lot of support throughout the program for all of our students, whether you're looking for an internship or looking for a permanent full-time job. So we do have 3 career fairs that is offered through the University of San Francisco each year, one of which is specifically a technical career fair. But as a department, we also host a lot of workshops where we bring people from industry to campus. We do what we call tech treks, where we take students to local tech companies. And then we also send students to different conferences throughout the academic year, which I'll talk a little bit about in just a moment. And then in addition to all of that, the fact that we're based here in the San Francisco Bay Area in Silicon Valley simply means that our students have access to industry, to the tech world that a lot of students in other programs don't have access to. So we see that as a huge benefit in our department. Another thing we're really proud of is the fact that our program is very global. So you do get a very global perspective here at USF. One of the things that students often find when they get into industry is that they're working with colleagues from all over the world. And you'll have that experience in our program, and we think that's really important. So you actually have a deep understanding of what your experience in industry will be like because you'll be working with students who come from a variety of backgrounds. This year's cohort actually represents 16 different countries. Next year's cohort we expect will represent more than 20 different countries. In addition to that, the University of San Francisco is the 5th most diverse university in the United States. So students will have an opportunity to work with a really wide variety of people that we think will really strengthen your skills as you move into industry. I want to first start by talking about our 2-year MS in computer science. It is designed to provide, as I mentioned earlier, a really solid foundation in software engineering fundamentals. The program is 36 units. Most students take 2 years. We have had students take a little bit longer and some students graduate in a little bit shorter amount of time, but primarily students do finish the degree in 2 years. There's a lot of opportunity to integrate industry experiences and practical experiences into the program. That includes our master's project course, which provides a guaranteed industry experience, as well as opportunities to network with industry experts. We also have the Practicum, which is our internship program, and those also provide formal opportunities to network with people in industry, and you can actually count those units towards the degree. And I'll talk about both the master's project and the practicum in just a few slides. This is an outline of the curriculum of our program. So as you'll see, the first year is fairly prescribed. In the first semester, students take 2 classes, Principles of Software Development and Algorithms. In the second semester, students take courses from 2 different categories. There's the Systems category, where students will select one of the following courses: Systems Foundations and Network Programming. Both of these courses are low-level programming courses. And then the other category is the Development category. So students would take one course from Machine Learning, Distributed Software Development, or Big Data. Students can definitely take more of these courses if they'd like, and the additional courses just simply count as their second-year electives. In the second year, this is really where students have an opportunity to create specializations. So in the first semester of the second year, everyone is required to take our master's project class. And again, I'll talk a little bit about the project class in just a moment. But the remainder of your electives or coursework is all electives. So this is where students can create a specialization through specific courses, through working with faculty on directed research, as well as through industry experience called the Practicum. So here's a list of some of the commonly offered electives that we've had over the last couple of years. This includes artificial intelligence, big data, bioinformatics, blockchain, computer networks, computer security, data visualization, distributed software development, human-computer interaction, machine learning, and UX design. We also often offer what we call special topics. So if there's a new topic that emerges from industry, our faculty can offer a special topic in that area if it's not already part of our approved electives. But students can choose really any electives from this list each year. And most of these courses are offered on an annual basis. In terms of research, our faculty span quite a range of research within computer science. And as you can see from this list, it goes from algorithms, big data, all the way to operating systems, UX design, machine learning. There's lots of opportunities to engage with faculty directly or through a research lab that you can take as a research assistant, or you can do for credit as directed research, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But this is just a sort of a variety of the areas that our faculty do research in. And this is a photo gallery of our current faculty here in the department. In terms of directed research, essentially what students do is you work either directly with a faculty member or in a research lab, and you can do this for between 1 to 4 units, depending on the amount of work that you and the faculty agree upon. And so essentially, each student can reach out to a faculty member whose area of research aligns with your interest and inquire about doing research in a formal capacity. And so once you have faculty approval, you can either register, or if there is funding, they can hire you as a research assistant. In terms of prerequisites, if you're interested in pursuing your MS in computer science, you need to possess either a bachelor's degree in computer science from an accredited university, or have a bachelor's degree from an accredited university and have fulfilled the following prerequisites. Really just a high-level programming course, and it doesn't have to be in a specific language. An object-oriented programming course, and it can be in any of the object-oriented programming languages. Algorithms and data structures, computer architecture or operating systems, linear algebra and probability, as well as discrete mathematics. Next, I want to talk a little bit about our MS in Computer Science Bridge program. The MS Computer Science Bridge program is approximately 3 years. Some students can complete it in 2.5 years. We've definitely had students complete it in a little bit less time than 3 years. But this degree is designed for students who are coming from outside of computer science and are really looking to transition into the technical field of computer science. This program is structured to provide a really solid foundational year before you move into the same curriculum that our 2-year master's students take. So the program, as I mentioned, is approximately 2.5 to 3 years. Students do need to have at least a B+ average or a 3.3 average cumulative GPA to automatically move on into the program's 2nd and 3rd year after that first bridge year. And the overall units total are 60. This program also includes the master's project as well as the internship program, which we call the Practicum. The way that first bridge year is structured, in the first semester, everyone is required to take an object-oriented programming course. This is a fairly intensive course and basically follows up on the introductory programming course in object-oriented programming that all students are required to have taken. In addition, students in the first semester will also take discrete mathematics. In the spring of the first bridge year, students will also take a low-level programming course called Systems Programming, as well as a Data Structures and Algorithms class, plus one elective. So this is an opportunity to actually take a course from a variety of areas. In the past, this has included data visualization, scientific computing, as well as databases. And then the only time we require any of our students to do something in the summer is actually the first summer after the bridge year, which is you either do an internship in industry or you would actually participate in a project class. In terms of prerequisites for this program, you do need to have an accredited bachelor's degree, and then all students or applicants are required to have taken at least one college-level Introduction to Computer Science class. So this thing should include topics like variables, control structures, structured data types, functions, loops. We also encourage, but we do not require, students to take in calculus and analytic geometry, as well as data structures. Those can be really helpful in that first year of the Bridge program, but we do not require them. A very common question that I get is whether or not we accept online classes, like the massively open online classes or MOOCs. So that would include Coursera, EDX, Udemy, as well as some other courses. Unfortunately, we do not. We have found that those classes tend to not be as rigorous as a college level course. So we do require that you've taken at least one college level Introduction to Computer Science class. So both the 2-year MS in Computer Science as well as our MS Bridge program include the project course. So all students have an opportunity to work with software engineers in industry who come to the department and they pitch real industry projects. And you get to work with a small group of students on a project. And this is a great opportunity to learn how to collaborate with your peers, how to collaborate with industry professionals, to get mentorship from industry. But one of the things that we think is a great sort of component of this course is, in addition to the industry support that you get, this is actually a course that is monitored by faculty as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for our faculty to provide feedback throughout the project. So if students are feeling a little bit uncomfortable taking some of their questions to their industry experts, they can always go to faculty and sort of troubleshoot some of those questions there. So there's a lot of opportunity for collaboration in this. Many of these projects have actually led to internships as well as full-time job offers. And this is just a list of some of the companies that in the last couple of years have sponsored projects. So Twitter, Yelp, Trizic, Mapbox, DocuSign, VMware. We've also had a lot of smaller startups that you may have never heard of that have sponsored projects. And this is a really great course for the program because it is an opportunity to really showcase the skills that you've developed throughout the program. The practicum is essentially the formal term for our internship. So this is an opportunity for students to actually work in industry for several months at a time. Students do often get paid. Almost all internships in computer science are paid, and you can get credit for it. And so one of the benefits of this is that you're promoting yourself in industry, you're networking, you're developing these skills, but you're also still progressing with your degree by getting credits as well. A common question that we have specifically from international students is whether or not international students are eligible for curricular practical training. We do require the internship, so all students actually are eligible for curricular practical training here at the University of San Francisco. And this does not affect opportunities to work in the United States after you graduate, which is called OPT. All students in the 2-year master's program are eligible for up to 2 internships or 4 units. So it can waive up to 1 elective towards the master's degree. For all of our students in the Bridge program, you can actually count up to 3 internships because we do require that first summer internship. If a student does not want to participate in an internship or does not find an internship, we will find alternatives for students. So you can do a project class or you can do research with faculty. And the photo below just gives you a sense of where we are in San Francisco. So we're pretty much centered. If you see in the lower left-hand corner photo, USF, the main Hilltop campus is actually kind of near the center of the city. And in the lower right-hand photo, you'll see that is the South of Market or SoMa neighborhood of San Francisco, which is pretty densely populated with tech companies. So you can get a sense of where some of the tech companies are. So we've taken public transit to take our students to tech companies for visits. So you can see that we're pretty closely located to the tech industry here in San Francisco. In terms of companies, this is a short list. So this is not actually representative of all the companies our students participated in internships this last summer. But you'll notice that there are a lot of major companies like Amazon, Apple, Cisco, IBM, and Google. But there's also a lot of smaller companies, like I said, mentioned earlier, different startups or smaller companies that are maybe more local that students can participate in. I do want to mention that students can do a formal internship anywhere in the world, so they don't have to be in the United States, although overwhelmingly most of our internships do happen here in the San Francisco Bay Area. In terms of employment, this is obviously an important factor that most applicants consider when they're thinking about where they want to go for graduate school. So I do want to talk a little bit about where are our alumni. A great resource is LinkedIn. So if you actually go to LinkedIn and type in the University of San Francisco, you can search for alumni from various programs. And if you look for computer science, you'll find that we have over 2,000 alumni that are on there, both undergraduate and graduate alumni from our program. And you can get a sense of where our students go. But something that we're really proud of is that within 3 months, about 85% of our graduates are employed as software engineers or software developers. Those are the two most common titles that you'll find for our graduates. In fact, many of our graduates actually have jobs. Some have multiple offers before they graduate. But within 3 months of graduation, approximately 85% are employed. In the last few years, within 6 months, everyone that was seeking a job was actually employed. So we had almost 100% employment within 6 months. For those not seeking, they were applying to doctoral programs. Again, a common question that we get from international students is whether or not students can participate in employment after they graduate. And our program does actually provide OPT, or optional professional training, for our international students. Our program is STEM designated, which means that students that are on an F1 visa can actually stay in the United States for up to 36 months or 3 years to work on their F1 visa, so their company does not have to sponsor them. So it's a really wonderful opportunity for international students if you do want to get some work experience here in the United States. This is a pretty short list, but the most common companies that we see our alumni going to. You'll notice that a lot of these companies are very similar to the internship list that I shared a few slides back. That is because a lot of our students actually get full-time job offers from where they intern, but a lot of our students choose to take employment at other companies, which is definitely an option. So you'll see that, these are, again, a lot of really commonly known companies here in the Bay Area, but we also have a lot of startups represented, as well as companies around the world. The Bay Area is by far the most common area where our alumni stay, but we see alumni also going to Seattle, Washington, to New York. But we also have quite a few alumni in Shanghai, as well as other parts of the world. I want to talk a little bit now about our admission process here in computer science at the University of San Francisco. The process is fairly typical, I would say, for graduate programs. So it is all completed online. All elements, including transcripts, letters of recommendation, everything is uploaded online. So there's nothing that you have to physically mail us during the application process. We do require a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution. So the nice thing is online, you can actually submit your unofficial transcripts for the admission review process. So all we need is a PDF of your transcripts or mark sheets. This should include your degree conferral. So for those of you who don't have formal transcripts but have mark sheets, this would just be your diploma. But if your transcript shows the degree and the date with which you received that degree, that is considered your degree conferral. So you would not have to submit your diploma. But we do need transcripts for all college level coursework. So if you took coursework at a community college or at multiple four-year institutions, we would want to see all of those transcripts. We do require a statement of purpose. I always encourage applicants to think of this as an opportunity to share your story, why you're choosing to pursue computer science, why at the University of San Francisco, what you hope to accomplish, if there's any particular areas of expertise that you'd like to focus on in our program, but then also where you hope to go afterwards. An additional thing that I encourage applicants to consider talking about in their statement is if there are any concerns that you have with your application. So if you had a semester where you performed maybe poorly for you and you want to be able to explain what happened in that semester, or if you had to take a couple of years off during your undergraduate experience because of an emergency, you can also include that in your statement of purpose as an addenda to the statement. So at the end, you can just briefly explain to our admission committee any sort of concerns you may have about the application. We will see all elements of your application. So if there is a red flag on your transcript or somewhere else in your history, I always encourage applicants just to address that rather than leave it as a question mark for us. We also require your current resume or your curriculum vitae. I highly encourage you to use a technical resume format, just simply because it makes it a little bit easier for the admission committee to understand what your technical and quantitative skills are. We do require the GRE. I will say we focus primarily on the quantitative section of the GRE exam. We do not have a minimum score, but the average score over the last few years has been approximately 163 in the quantitative section, where most admitted applicants score between 160 and 170. We do get some applicants that score below that. It's not typical for applicants below 155 in the quantitative section to be admitted, but if all other elements of the application look really strong, we have admitted students below that. But we do definitely encourage applicants that have concerns to reach out directly to me or to faculty if you have questions about the GRE. We can waive the GRE if you have 5 or more years of software development experience. To request the GRE waiver, what you would need to do is send me a copy of your current resume, as well as all of your transcripts via email. And I'll share my email at the end of this presentation, and I will share that with our faculty to consider the GRE waiver request. We also require 2 letters of recommendation. This should come from someone who has supervised you, whether this is a faculty member or an industry manager. It should be someone who has supervised you. We do prefer that it not be from a colleague or someone who's more of a peer. If you want to submit a recommendation from a colleague or a peer that has not managed you, they could be a 3rd recommendation. But we do prefer that at least 2 come from technical people who have supervised you either in industry or in academia. You should never submit a recommendation from a family or friend. That is definitely frowned upon. For international applicants, we do have a couple additional items that you are required to submit. For students that are coming from and were educated in non-English speaking countries, you are required to submit an English proficiency language exam. So we accept a few. We accept the TOEFL, the test of English as a foreign language, as well as the IELTS exam. We also accept the PTE and the Duolingo exam, are 2 new additions to the University of San Francisco. If you have a degree from an English-speaking country, and we do have a list of countries that are designated as English-speaking on our website, the test of English is actually waived completely, so you would not have to submit that. We do require a proof of funding, which is called the Certificate of Finance. So this is actually not required by USF, but it's required by the US federal government. So you submit this with your application, and it allows us to request an I-20 for all of our international applicants that are admitted. But essentially, this is proof that you have the finances to pay for yourself here in the United States if you do apply and are admitted to a program here in the US. So this is a part of the visa application process. And then we do require a copy of the passport main page. So all applicants do need to submit the passport just to verify your citizenship. In terms of the admission process, once you submit your application, many applicants are invited for an interview. And so this is a technical interview. It will be held by one of our faculty members. This is a really great opportunity for the student to display your skills. And it will be specific to either the 2-year program, where we expect you to have been introduced to all the concepts listed in our prerequisites, as well as for our bridge program, where we expect you just to have taken an introductory computer science class. So the expectations will definitely vary depending upon which program you're applying for. But it's a really great opportunity to determine for us whether or not you're a good fit for our program, and a really good opportunity for the applicant to determine, is USF a good fit for you? So this is an opportunity not only for us to interview you, but an opportunity for you to ask us more questions specifically with a faculty member. So it's an opportunity to sit down for about 45 minutes with a faculty member and have a really good conversation after you're done going over some technical questions. We do have 2 deadlines each year, January 15th and March 1st. Our application typically opens in August, the year before the program would start. For example, for fall 2021, the application should open this August. It would be due January 15th of 2021 or March 1st of 2021. In general, it takes 6 to 8 weeks from the application deadline for applicants to receive their decision. We try to meet that deadline, but depending on factors each year, it can be a little bit shorter or it can be a little bit longer. But we definitely keep in touch with all of our applicants so that way you know where you are throughout the process. In terms of tuition and funding, the way graduate programs are structured at the University of San Francisco is you don't pay a flat tuition. You pay tuition based on the number of units you take, and this is actually to the benefit of graduate students. So for example, our 2-year MS in Computer Science is 36 units. The cost of a unit for the 2020-2021 academic year will be $1,480, and that is billed each semester. So for 36 units, that costs approximately $55,000 over 2 years, but you're billed over each semester that you are in the program. For our 60-unit bridge program, that's approximately $85,000 over the course of the 2.5 or 3 years that you're in the program. USF does have payment programs or payment plan programs, so you can choose to break down those payments into smaller chunks each semester. In terms of funding, we do have a variety of funding options for our students. This includes merit-based scholarships. So there's two different types of merit-based scholarships. There's admission scholarships. So all applicants admitted to our program are automatically considered for merit-based scholarships. There's no additional application. The average scholarship is about $5,000, and we don't have any full scholarships, but every applicant who is offered admission is considered for a scholarship. Each continuing student is also considered for merit-based scholarships. So every semester, the faculty do nominate students that are meritorious for additional scholarship funding. We also have teaching assistantships and research assistantships. These do not provide tuition waivers, but they do provide an hourly rate to students, and it's a great opportunity to work directly with faculty, either assisting in teaching a class or assisting in research labs. Some other funding that we have are diversity scholarships. We have an amazing network of friends of the Department of Computer Science who provide funding each year to support our students, whether it's women in tech or sending students to diversity conferences. There's a lot of funding to help support our diverse students. And then we also have conference funding. So we get gifts each year to send our students to a variety of conferences. Most commonly, there is the Grace Hopper Celebration of Women in Tech, as well as the Tapia Celebration of Diversity in Tech. But there's a lot of other regional conferences that happen here in San Francisco. And with this conference funding, we're able to help pay for the conference fee as well as the travel costs to go to conferences. For example, students who attended the Grace Hopper conference this year each received $1,450 to pay for the conference fee, the registration, as well as their travel expenses, hotel, and food. So we do a lot to provide opportunities for our students to not only have a great educational experience, but to network with industry. And then in addition to all the academics, we really strive to provide our students with a lot of opportunities to build community. It's not just about building your network, but it's also building a network of peers here in the program. So throughout the year, we do a variety of events, whether it's celebrating the Chinese New Year, Diwali, we do a welcome picnic. We often do an end of year barbecue as well for our students. And then throughout the year, we have a variety of events, whether it's having lunch with faculty, or having tea with faculty and opportunities to discuss fun research projects. We do a lot of events throughout the year. And as you can see, we get a lot of attendance from our students, from our faculty. So it's something that we really value here in the Department of Computer Science, is the opportunity to build community. And with that, I wanted to provide my contact information should you have any questions about our program. Again, my name is John Bruno, and my email is gbruno@usfca.edu. Again, I am happy to answer any questions that you have about the program. If you're interested in connecting with faculty and current students, I'm happy to make those connections for you as well. I look forward to connecting with you in the future. Thank you so much. Be well.